How's it going, everybody? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Nice, warm, cool day here in North Carolina. It's roughly 50 degrees, but the wind's blowing and it's not sunshiny at all. Matter of fact, there's a 20% chance of rain, so that means it's 100% where I'm at. But with that said, we're replacing the transmission mount on this car. So let's get to it. The reason that we're changing the transmission mount, and I'll show you how to check it here in just a minute, is because I was driving, well, first let me back up. I installed some lower control arms on this car, and I'll put the video up there so you can see it if you're so inclined. I hope you are, and you know, anytime you put anything new on a car, it creates stress on other things. Now, I'm not saying this caused it, but it probably was a contributing factor. And what happened is, I was sitting at a stoplight on the way to work one morning after installing those lower control arms, and I've been getting on the car a little bit because I really enjoyed the way that it felt after putting them on. And I'm sitting at the stoplight on the way to work, light turns green, I gave it gas to go, and all of a sudden I heard this noise. It sounded like the transmission was falling completely out of the car. It was a loud boom underneath the transmission tunnel, and it scared the crap out of me. I thought it was falling out, like I said. So I took it easy, drove it home, drove it to work, came home, put it up on the lift, put it up on the jack stands and the ramps, got it up in the air because I had another part I was going to install anyway. And during installing that part, I checked the transmission mount, and lo and behold, it's busted. So let's get to it, and I'll show you the parts you're going to need. I mean, the tools you're going to need. It's not that many. It's very simple to do, but you do have to get the car up off the ground. All right, here we are under the car. I got another jack because you're going to have to put some support underneath the transmission to take the weight off of the crossmember. But there's two bolts here. There's two bolts on the other side, and there's one directly in the middle. That takes off the transmission crossmember. Then there's two bolts in the actual mount, and I don't know what size they are yet. It looks like either a 10, 11, or a 12. I'll let you know when I get there. But these right here are 15 millimeters. I hope you can see that. But they're 15 millimeters. So with that said, some people say you could do this without taking the whole thing down. I'm going to take the whole thing down because I need to clean it anyway. I mean, you've got, what, 30, 40 years of dirt, grease, grime, oil, and everything on there, so I'm going to take it off and clean it. But yeah, all we're going to do is jack up the back of the transmission just ever so slightly. That gets the weight off of there. Then we'll take that down, then we'll take off the mount itself. But here's how you check. But right here's your transmission mount, this metal piece with rubber bushing on top of it. And the way to check it is you take a screwdriver or a long pry bar with the car off the ground, stick it in the bushing and kind of pull up, or you know, anywhere in between the mount and the transmission you get, and see if there's any play or give to it. Or you could do what I'm fixing to do, and that's to jack the rear of the transmission up and see if it separates. So let's get the jack in it and see what happens. Alright, sorry about that, but I had to change jacks because the other jack was just taking up too much room. So I got the bottle jack. But if you watch right there, there's a rip, and you'll see it open up. There's that jacket, showing that this is actually a bad mount. See it separating there? And I'm not going to go too high because there's no need in it. Let me get my flashlight over here so you can see. But if you look right at the end of this bar, right there, you can see it starting to separate. And you can see it right here at the very back. See, this transmission mount is busted. So now that I have it up in the air, no pressure on it, I'll take those 4 bolts out I was showing you, and we'll get this thing changed out. Alright, here's the very bare minimum of the stuff that you need to get by with. And you don't even have to have the sockets. You can do it all with wrenches. Sockets make it easier if you don't have it. But some kind of jack if you're going to do this. That way it takes off the weight of the transmission. Doesn't matter what type of jack it is, just get the weight off of the transmission so you can get the cross member mount out. It doesn't fall out. Then you're going to need some kind of light, of course. Bare minimum, 13 millimeter wrench and a 15 millimeter wrench. I strongly suggest using sockets, because the middle bolt that goes to the crossmember to the transmission mount, you'll need a deep well, and you don't have like that much room to get in there to turn anything. So if you can, 15 millimeter deep well, 13 and a 15 regular, and a extension. And that's all it takes. You know, a light, jack, 3 wrenches, and you're done. This job, outside of getting the car in the air, as you can see, I've done. But like I said, I had another part that I was putting on there. But putting it in the air takes the longest part. Outside of doing the actual work, takes no time at all. Real easy to do, real simple. Alright, first thing, like I said, we want to get these bolts broken loose. So let me get over here where you can try to see. It's very hard getting these camera angles to where you can see everything that's going on. But what I want to do first is break this one loose. There we go. I'm going to take it off. Lay everything down. Now we're going to come back and get the actual cross members. Now we go over to the other side and do the same thing there. Okay, these, now that you can see it better, sorry, you could see it better. There's one here and one directly on the other side. As you can see, that is busted. So we're going to pull that down out of the way. But that bolt and that bolt are size 13 millimeter. So let's go ahead and take them out. And there we go, transmission mount out. Now let's get the new one. Now here's the way the old one came out, just like so. So we're going to take the new one, and I was going to get a polyurethane one, but they didn't have any in stock, so I went ahead and got a factory replacement. But that's the way it came out. As you can see, the bracket is made very similar. So that's how it's going to go back in. Just make sure the holes line up, and they do. So we're going to put it back in, just like so. Alright, installation is exactly the same, only backwards. But in this instance, what you want to do is, you're not going to tighten these bolts down all the way to hold them out to the transmission. And the reason for that is you're going to want to leave some play so that you can get that hole started in the middle of the cross member. Again, you're going to want to start these and leave them loose. I just run them all the way up by hand and leave a little bit of slack in it. And then we can come back and tighten it up with a wrench or a ratchet with a swivel on it, because the cross member will be in the way. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a minute. We're just running up by hand and you know, leave some slack in it. And then we'll move on to the other part, which is the cross member. Alright, now let's get the cross member in place. I took it and cleaned it up best I could with some simple green and water and a brush. So now all you're going to do is get yourself under the car as best you can. Get it roughly in spot. Get bolt. Start it. Then you can let some weight off of it while you grab the other one. Get it started. And of course it's starting to rain now. But now I'm going to go around to the other side and put them in. No need you watching me put those in. So, okay, as you can see, I have the stud through. The bolts are already started, so now I'm going to put the nut and washer back on the center one. And again, we're just going to leave everything loose for just a second so that everything has some movement and adjustability in it. Then once you get that done, you're going to let the jack down slowly until it makes contact with the cross member. That way it has some weight on it, so then you can start tightening everything back down. So let's let it down just a hair. Starting to get weight on it, there we go. Just like so. Now it has full load on it, tighten the jack back down so it doesn't move. Now we're going to go around and tighten up all the bolts. I'm going to have to get a deep wheel for that one. Alright, as I mentioned, you're going to have a deep wheel for this one when you go to put it back on. But I've got these two tight, this one tight, and I'm going to go around the other side to get it real quick. And I'll be right back. And of course it's pouring down rain now. Yippee yippee. Good old North Carolina weather. Gotta love it, gotta love it. Now comes the only kicker to the whole thing. If you look right there, you can see the bolt. You can't hardly get a socket up in here. I mean, I've got enough extensions and swivels and everything to where I can, but I try to do everything just as you would at home. So it's going to take a 13mm wrench. Like I said, we've got these tightened up already. We've got the center one tightened up. I've got those two over there tightened up. As you can see, I can clean the cross member. And I'm going to take the car to the car wash and hit the underside of this to get all the old dirt and grease off of it. But yeah, just tighten up these two bolts right here and you'll be done. But there you go, all finished. Nice, neat, clean. Like I said, I'm going to take this to the car wash and wash it off underneath here. But now there will be no more bumping under my transmission tunnel, scaring the crap out of me. And that's what it's all about, right? Alright, let's back it down off the ramps now. Nice and slow. Then put everything up and call this job done. But just so you guys and gals know, what I did was, like I said, they did not have the polyurethane mount, which is what I was really wanting. I was wanting it in a way I wasn't, because the polyurethane is a lot harder, so that would transfer more noise up through my transmission. But I also know that it will last a lot longer. But then they didn't have it, so I went ahead and bought the one they had, and I'll give you that part number here in just a second. But I also have the other one on order, so what I may do is just go ahead and put it in my building and save it for a little while and see how this transmission mount does, because this is a Duralast. I know, it's the AutoZone brand Duralast, part number 2672 for a 4th gen Camaro, 1993 specifically for mine. And it was only $6 change with tax. It was under $8, so you know, I went ahead and bought it while I was there. That way I could get the mount back on and start driving the car again, because I've been driving the red car and I don't like putting a lot of miles on it just yet. But either or, $26.72 under $8 at AutoZone. Zero dark 30 out there now, yes sir. But I didn't have time to do my outro, so I wanted to come back and do that. My battery died on the GoPro. I'm getting another one of them before long for Christmas, I hope. But I just wanted to come back and tell each and every one of you the job is not that hard. It is actually very simple. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes, and most of that is getting the car up off the ground. So be safe when you do that, whether you do 2 wheels, 4 wheels like I did, or whatever. Just be safe doing it. Part is basically everywhere. I got the cheapest one they had because that's the only one they had, and I ordered the other one. So I may be doing another video on how to do it again coming up shortly, putting it in the polyurethane. We'll see how this one does. But I just wanted to come back on and let you know I'm still here. The battery died. So until next time, guys, thanks each and every one of you for stopping by again. Get out there and enjoy those cars, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks again.